Hi everyone, my name's Katy. Today we're going to do a very short yin practice for hips. So if you have a block, grab that, or if you just have towels, like 2 towels, that would work too. Okay, all right, let's get started. All right, so come all the way down to your back. We don't need the towels yet. In a moment. So we'll scoot all the way down here. And let your upper back kind of feel the mat. Okay, press it in. And we're going to do happy baby. So we have 2 options here. So I'll show you the first one and you can see how that feels. If you're not liking that, you can go to the second one, okay? So bring your feet straight up, keeping your feet parallel to the ceiling. Flex your toes a little bit. And here we can either reach for the side of your foot by your pinky toe, or you can do peace fingers with your pointer and your middle finger and grab onto your big toe and pull it down. Whatever feels nicer to you, okay? So that is one option with both legs up. The second option, we're just going to extend one leg, it doesn't matter, down flat like that, okay? So we're doing a half happy baby, but we're keeping one knee bent as we do it. So try that, see if you like that, okay? And then go to whichever one you like. And then we're gonna settle in here. So with Yin Yoga, the idea is we're targeting not the muscles like we do with the flow, Vinyasa type yoga, the Yang yoga. With Yin Yoga, we're actually targeting the connective tissue, okay? So you have to think it's like a credit card, right? It's like plastic. If you keep bending, it's gonna break. So these are very gentle movements that we do in yin because we don't want to break anything or tear anything, okay? And yin also assumes that you have no issues, which with your body physically, which is hard because if you've been alive, you could have had injuries and a lot of things. So always make sure you're okay to practice yin with your doctor or healthcare provider before you do it. So what we're going to do here is just settle in. And after about 30 seconds or so, if you want, you can get a little bit deeper in there, okay? Whichever pose you're in. And the other thing too is we shouldn't feel any pain, tingling, burning, numbness, anything like that come out of the pose, okay? So the principle of yin is you come into the pose, you go to your edge, you go to where you naturally stop, you settle. So after about that 30 seconds, you're there, and then you're just still, okay? And then we let time and we let gravity do the work for us, all right? Just settle in here. All right, we're about halfway done. So If you have one foot down, go ahead and switch. And if you're feeling you're not liking this, just come out of it a little bit, okay? You can even come and just hold behind your thighs if that feels a little more gentle to you. That's an option, okay? Listen to your body. All right, so go ahead and undo your feet and then bring your knees together and then just wrap behind your thigh and hug it in a little bit. Just do a gentle roll side to side here. Land both your feet down. Pick up your hips. Take them a little tiny bit to one side. Drop your knees to the opposite side. And then press yourself up, okay? So for our second pose, we're going to do your choice on this. It's either going to be tadpole. So in tadpole, your toes come together and your knees are at the edge of your mat and you sit back and just let your forehead rest down, your arms rest down. With child's pose, the difference is our legs are hip width apart and they're straight, so they're making the number 11 parallel to each other, and then you just sit back, okay? So play with it for a minute and see which one you like better, and then we have some options too. If you want to take one of your towels, put it under your knees, it's a little more cushion, there's that option. You can take another towel and do a roll and stick it either in underneath your bum, or you can stick it behind your ankles there too, okay? So that's another option. And another option, if you have 3 towels or if you have a block, maybe I should have said grab 3 towels. Another option too is to either use the towel or the block and rest your forehead. But if you don't have that, what I like to do is just stack my fists like that and rest my forehead there, or you can just use your forearms too, okay? So play with that for a minute. We're gonna come into it and hold. And again, if this is not good on your knees or your hips, come out of it, okay? We have to listen to our body and we don't want any pain, okay? This should be good sensation. So let's go ahead and lower down. Again, support your forehead if you need to. Bring your bum back. Remember, we're letting gravity do the work and time. We don't have to do anything. We can just hang out, okay? So kind of let things get heavy a little bit. Okay, we're about halfway done. Remember to check your sensations, how you're feeling. If you need to come out of it or if you feel okay to stay in it. Another thing with Yin is we're working on also the mind with the time. You can notice where our mind goes. Sometimes it's hard for our mind not to have something to think about. So it's a good practice in just coming to your mat and noticing where your mind goes. And asking why. Alrighty, go ahead and come up. For our last pose, I'm gonna show you two options depending on where you're at in your hips. Okay. First option would be a seated pigeon or seated figure four. And how you do that is you just take a seat, bend both your feet so they're about hip width. Again, we're making the number 11 if you're looking down. Bring your arms back for support. Pick up your left leg or right. We're going to do both, so it's fine. And cross it over above your right. And then you can walk in your right leg however deep you want, feels nice for you, okay? So that's one option. Okay, this is going to be a little less intense, this option. The second option I'll show you, and you can decide which one you want. We're going to come to tabletop. Pick up your right knee and cross it on the outside of your left leg, and then bring your feet forward a little bit. And come to shoelace. Now, some people like to either sit on a block or a rolled up blanket or towel when you do this. Just sit there bum on. It gives you a little bit, brings the floor closer to you. So if you like that option, it's there. It's kind of lovely. And here, if you're unable to stack your knees, you can always do a wide untied shoelace. So you just widen it a little bit, okay? So play with it for a minute here to find where you want to be. So either the first option, the seated figure four, or the shoelace. And then we can just settle in here and keeping your posture, your back up, aligned. Your hips are sinking into either the mat or the towel. Your shoulders are over your hips. Now, once you're there, if you feel like you want a little bit more in this, you can come forward. Okay. Again, we shouldn't feel any pain, tingling, burning, numbness. Those are all bad words in yoga. So if we feel them, we need to get out, back ourselves out of that situation. you have a bolster too, sometimes it's nice to put it vertical and rest your forehead on if you're leaning over. And always remember, if you feel the need to sink deeper or sink less, do that. Do what your body's telling you. We're about halfway done on this side, and then we'll do the other side, okay? Let's start to walk. If you're leaned over, walk yourself up and bring your hands behind you. Just lift your chest up a little, tiny back bend to counter that if you were hunched over. Then we'll take yourself forward here. Then let's uncross. So if you're in the seated figure four, do the other leg. If you're doing the shoelace, just take your left leg on the outside of your right knee, bring your feet up a little bit, and then sit yourself back, tied or untied. Bolster blanket block or no bolster blanket block. And you might notice this side might be a little different. Could have a knee issue on this side. So you might have to take the figure four on this side if your body's telling you that it's not going to happen today, okay? So we have to listen to ourselves. All right. All right, we're about halfway done. So give yourself a check. You're doing okay. Keep going, one more minute here. One of the beautiful things about Yin Yoga is because it relies on time, is it forces us to be in stillness for a while, which there's a lot of, I can't think of a lot of situations in life and modern life today where we're forced to be in stillness. So it's kind of beautiful. All right, you guys ready? Let's gently bring ourselves forward or unwind. And we're just going to do Savasana. So again, sometimes it's nice to put something under your knees or even a little bit of cushioning under your neck. Feels nice. Go ahead and come down. And just, again, we're going to just let our bodies be heavy and let gravity and time do their job. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and exhale it out. Bend your knees. Bring them to your chest and give yourself a hug. You can kind of lift your tailbone up, round a little bit. Bring your feet down. Bring your hips to the side and then drop your knees and slowly press yourself up. Thank you, everyone, for practicing Yin with me. It was an honor to practice with you today. Take care. Bye. Namaste. Bye.